Hello and welcome, Exiles, to the conclusion to the Mana Righteous Fire build. I'm going to keep this video pretty brief and just go over the bullet points. Number one, I did not get to do a finalized setup on this build because the league got cut pretty short. GGG announced Phorecia, the Pox League player base took a nosedive, and getting proper upgrades became much harder because the availability of items just basically vanished. On top of that, because there was a shorter time frame, I ran out of having time to do a proper Mana Righteous Fire setup and only had enough time to try to force my mana number high to compete for the mana competition for the bet I made against Connor and Zweety. All in all, that went well because we ended up winning the bet. We got to 35,246, I believe. But unfortunately, Connor asked me if he could use my ring for his Mana Forge Arrow video, and I said yes, forgetting I needed to make an update video on this character. So I'm not going to give a showcase because I'm listing almost 8,000 mana that I had on the character without the ring, and it wouldn't be that impressive anyways. All in all, the Quiver Bow setup is mostly just memeing to push the mana number. If you can get a Mirror Tier Synth Quiver, it becomes a bit more competitive, and if you have Radiant Faith, it makes a big difference in terms of late game scaling. But all in all, this version of the character I don't particularly recommend. I vastly prefer doing either a multi-link wand with Squire, which I didn't think I had enough time to really make in the time frame because multi-links can be pretty expensive crafts with recombinators and whatnot, or doing a wand plus a block recover on block setup, which is what I ended up doing, and that felt pretty dang good. Defensively, very nice. So, all in all with the character, late game when you're talking about Mana Righteous Fire, it's using this chess mod here. Chaos damage doesn't bypass. I was pushing mana number, so I went for flat mana on the chess piece, but late game, if you're really trying to push this character in terms of feels good defenses and mana, you'd probably go for double ES. Stuff like that would change if you're trying to min-max the build, but I just went with what I could put together to push the mana number, if that makes sense. So, overall conclusion. Character, very good early game. Mana Righteous Fire, in my opinion, is the best Righteous Fire build for those first few days. When you're talking Foulborn Kikazar, when you're talking Ivory Tower, its early power spike is immediate, and it feels pretty dang good. Later on, a little bit later on, you also go to get Indigon, which takes you to Uber damage viability, and that feels good. At that point, I would say Mana Righteous Fire is one of the best starter Righteous Fire builds in terms of all-around defensiveness and offensive balance. Elementalist, I think, would be a bit better damage-wise, but definitely nowhere near the defenses, because this character gets to like 10k ES very fast, whereas Elementalist would be a bit more of a slog, pushing the number up. And then point number two is later on, I'm not convinced this would beat a Righteous Fire Scion late game scaling. Righteous Fire Scion has a slower start, but I think every upgrade I make on Righteous Fire Scion is a bit more progress each time versus this I think was a bit less. So I think the scaling on the Righteous Fire Scion would end up overtaking this. I think. I didn't get to test it, but that was the feeling I got when I was doing this character, playing it. Very good start. And then its upgrades get a little less powerful each one you get compared to the Scion, which is a bit of a slower start and kind of goes exponential, if that makes any sense. Hopefully I'm making some level of sense. All in all, I like playing the character a lot. Starts out with good AoE, good damage, fairly good defenses, can get into viability of whatever content you want to do pretty fast. And I love Righteous Fire, and it's a lot of fun. Definitely think it's great on Hyro. As for people asking me about should I play it on Phorecia, I don't think I'd recommend it on Phorecia. I'm not too confident. Phorecia has a lot of like pretty weird-ish ascendancies that don't pair quite as well as Hyro does with Mana Righteous Fire. Hyro's pairing with Mana Righteous Fire is almost perfect, I would say. So I don't know if I'd recommend it for Phorecia, but in future leagues, I really liked it as a league start. I may end up doing a league start guide for it potentially. I don't know. We'll see how much time I have. Really depends on what I'm working on. But yeah, that's the conclusion on the Mana Righteous Fire build. Had a lot of fun playing it. Great early game. The late game, I don't know if its scaling keeps up with Gagarf. I didn't really get to test it because we ran out of time. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Sorry if you were planning on a more conclusive look of a really min-max setup, but I didn't have enough time to put it together. So I apologize for that. As always, thanks for watching, Exiles. Take care and peace out. Have a good one.